Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Senior Airman Devin Oathstein. An Osan Air Base flight instructor shows how flying is not just for the birds. Senior Airman Stephen Ellis reports.
Like many kids, Dusty Dalton has been fascinated by aviation since he was a young boy.
Senior year of high school, you know, when you're trying to find a job, trying to find a school, I was going to go do aerospace engineering, but my mom didn't want me to leave and go to a bigger college, so she flipped me a magazine of a community college that was nearby, and flipped it through the class schedule, and the first thing on the list was aviation, and start going through and private pilot, commercial pilot, instrument pilot. Wait a minute, these are classes to actually be a pilot. I mean, I can go to school and be a pilot, and so I did.
1 degree and 1,000 flight hours later, Dusty is a certified flight instructor at Osan Air Base's Aero Club.
People are paying you to fly and to teach them to fly, and best way to learn something as well is to teach it. And so as soon as I graduated the college there, it gave me a job.
But for Dusty, it hardly feels like a job.
So I think that a lot of people aspire to fly because they look up at the birds and we're jealous of them a little bit, that they can spread their wings and fly and go wherever they want to without being hindered by roads and stop signs. And the freedom of being able to move three-dimensionally and wherever you want to is pretty amazing. And you find that when you're in an airplane, and I definitely did.
When asked if flying the Cessna Skyhawk is different than riding in an airliner, his response was simple.
Definitely. What's the difference between riding in a Greyhound bus and driving a sports car?
Senior Airman Stephen Ellis, Osan Air Base, Korea.
To contact the nearest Aero Club, get in touch with your Force Support Squadron. In a busy community where being on time is critical, residents rely on one man's responsiveness. Specialist Pedro Amador tells us who this man is who can take you anywhere you want.
The day starts off with beautifying his tool of the trade.
Every day we have to wash car.
Then he is off to meet his patrons.
Please get in. Good afternoon, sir. You know, we taxi drivers are not simply taxi drivers, but you know, we are working with the idea that we are assisting U.S. military forces here in base. We have willingness to go together with the even better field. Have a great day. You too, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Yang feels driving his cab on base has its advantages over cab drivers off post.
We can enjoy drive on cab here in base, and also we can learn some American cultures and customs, and even languages. Where do you come from?
He never has a dull moment as he befriends every customer he gets throughout the day.
New York. Yeah. What about you?
And soldiers around the base also see the importance of having drivers like Mr. Yang available to take them to their workplace.
Here are your change.
Thank you. Their English is much, much better, and I think that's because they're used to working with us. They're more careful when they drive. They don't really play with my life as much, and I kind of appreciate that.
Somebody already got a call. Yeah.
There is more to Mr. Yang than driving a cab all day.
I usually write poems or stories. Seeing your world is not all that you will have seen and experienced. Walking through and along the path, whatever it is. From life stories, I can get some kind of inspiration.
With his poetry in motion, Mr. Yang hopes to continue contributing his services to the Yongsan Garrison community.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I wanted to continue to drive a cab very base. I like it, yeah.
Specialist Pedro Amador, Yongsan, Korea.
Mr. Jang's typical workday lasts approximately 16 hours. Maintaining airplanes is a 24-hour operation. Senior Airman Robert Mason brings us to the flight line at Osan Air Base to explain.
A crew chief has more than a typical 9-to-5 job. Keeping the A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft in the best condition possible is a job completed while most people sleep.
We're swing shifts, so we do all the major maintenance that goes on at night. So whatever discrepancies there would be, we usually find it and then fix it on the spot.
This newly appointed crew chief has earned the position by proving his dedication to his job and the aircraft he maintains.
We're too short manned to have people that don't want to do this job. And that's what separates him from everybody else. He loves this job. He wants to do it.
I want the pilot to have the best aircraft he can get. And I take pride in having, one of the best aircraft here at Osan.
Senior Airman Robert Mason, Osan Air Base, Korea.
The A-10 Thunderbolt II is a high-tech modern combat aircraft that can fly missions even during darkness. A winner is someone who recognizes their natural talents, develops those talents into skills, and uses the skills to accomplish their goals. Staff Sergeant Zach Lopez introduces us to one airman who continues to win on the basketball court.
If anybody were in search for Senior Airman Divine Cox after business hours, they would know exactly where to look.
To be honest, just when I'm out on the basketball court, that's all I think about. That's all I care about at that time. Basketball is more of a stress reliever for me as well, because you don't need anybody else there. It's you and the ball and the basketball goal, and that's what made me keep coming back to it.
It's part of his identity and has been introduced as a lifestyle at an early age. Even as an active duty service member, he's leading teams into championships and continues to make a name for himself on the court.
I volunteered to come to Kunsan. One of the reasons being I had a couple of friends back at my last base that played basketball, and it's like, yo, Cox, if you want to play basketball and a lot of basketball, Korea is where you want to go. We've won a couple of tournaments, and the tournament consists of playing 9, 10, 11, 12 games in three days. That's a lot of basketball. They don't even do that in the NBA.
Being a part of the Kunsan varsity team has taken Senior Airman Cox all over the South Korean peninsula, in addition to participating within the base's squadron league.
1, 2, 3.
Basketball playing definitely made my tour here feel a lot shorter, because we've been playing basketball from October of last year to now. We're just now wrapping up the basketball season here.
Staff Sergeant Zach Lopez, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Senior Airman Divine Cox played basketball for Charleston Southern University, where his mother played when she attended as well. What do you do while you're in Korea? There's shopping everywhere, events happening all the time, and let's not forget about all the great restaurants. But there is one place in Korea that will be etched into your mind forever. Army Sergeant Matt Cromer joins a group of lucky civilians who meet some soldiers and take a ride.
The USO crew made a stop at the DMZ to have lunch with the American and ROK soldiers.
It's really a great opportunity for these wonderful USO athletes and performers that we've brought along to see, another place that the U.S. military is on the front lines defending our country and also defending our allies. So it's a tremendous weather day for us. Really excited about showing these folks what our wonderful soldiers do, and we're excited to be here.
After lunch, the group got on the bus and took a tour of the DMZ. And for one particular guy, this tour hit close to home.
It hits a personal note. My grandfather was out here for the Korean War, an engineer in the Marine Corps, and helped build the first 15 miles of the DMZ, and was involved in some of the prisoner exchanges. So he talked a lot about it before this trip. Gave me some great photos, a good book to read up on, and it's a bit surreal being here now.
The USO group shook more hands and said their goodbyes to all the soldiers before taking off to visit more troops around Korea. Army Sergeant Matt Cromer, Demilitarized Zone, Korea.
Yeah, you're clear.
The USO crew then went to Osan to perform at the enlisted club. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, March 19th. To see these stories and others, go to the AFN Pacific website or view them through the AFN Pacific app. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.
As a member of the 8th Army team, I share in a proud legacy of service in the defense of Korea. During the Korean War, the only U.S. military women allowed on the peninsula were nurses. I am living proof that times have changed. It is our diversity that makes our Army strong. As we celebrate Women's History Month, let us honor the extraordinary women who overcame significant obstacles. 8th Army strong and getting stronger.